Well, let's start at the top then, because maybe it trickles down.
Think about wanting everything to trickle down. I mean, God, get off the floor, Joy. Maybe you'll see something.
Everybody should.
Hey y'all, thanks for checking in. It's your girl Nicole Patrice, and I'm here with a little bit more on Eric Adams, because I just feel like this man has been getting no breaks, but I think he went on The View to try to save his image a little bit, and he knocked it out of the park. From a politician and a public speaking and a media perspective, I think he really did a really great job on The View, because them ladies are so just nasty, and I think they were really trying to make him look really bad because of how he has recently sounded more reasonable and more moderate than some of the other sanctuary city mayors, like our lovely Brandon Johnson here in Chicago. So New Yorkers, I envy you. Your mayor is finally coming around. I think he always kind of felt the same way, but I don't think he just really thought that Biden would just leave them hanging like that. And then especially after the indictment, it's not, now I'm sure he's just like, okay, I forget all y'all. Like, fix my city.
Right. So you heard us talking about RFK Jr. being the head of HHS. What do you think about that appointment?
The executives will nominate and bring in those who they believe will move their vision forward. And everything from the fluoride issue, I believe we should have fluoride in the water based on what my experts are telling me. But let's be clear, we have a real problem with our food in our country. And we need to watch what we're feeding our children. And
what is the major problem, do you think?
Too much hormones. Many people know my, I almost lost my sight with diabetes. The doctor told me I was blind in a year. I was going to lose my fingers and toes. And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
But JFK Jr. RFK Jr. ate some pork, and now he has a brain worm. Is he the person that should be in charge of that?
Yeah, well, let's.
She is so nasty. Hold on, I just want y'all to hear this again.
And now he has a brain.
Lost my sight with diabetes. The doctor told me I was blind in a year. I was going to lose my fingers and toes. And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
But JFK Jr. RFK Jr. ate some pork, and now he has a brain worm. Is he the person that should be in charge of that?
Yeah, well,
she couldn't even get it out. First of all, she talking about JFK Jr. It's RFK Jr. You sound like the brain worm. You got TDS, Sonny. You need to get over it. Look at her. She holding herself. She's so miserable. Like, who watches The View, first of all? Like, I could never watch it. Like, I feel like I've maybe watched maybe two, 3 episodes, and maybe it was just because like somebody I really wanted to see was on there. But other than that, there is no way. You will not catch me watching these miserable. They just sound like old miserable wenches. Like, just look at them. There's no joy in this show. And if you watch this first thing in the morning, I mean, you might as well go eat out your trash dumpster, because Jesus.
Let's right. And let's understand this also. In all of these agencies,
they think they're so funny. It's like, okay, what does that even mean? And I mean, like, okay, if he ate some pork and it had worms in it, so now he's he's incompetent, like he doesn't understand anything. Like, you never ate some bad food before? Like, girl, bye. I don't even know what she's talking about, first of all, but she's totally taken away from the point of the matter, which is he just got through saying he almost died and didn't realize it was the food he was putting in his mouth. A lot of the food that we eat is banned in Europe and Canada. Like, you cannot get some of these ingredients. These companies knowingly make a poison version for the US and a clean version for Europe. And you guys want to mock someone who's trying to give you healthy food and extend your life expectancy. I think our life expectancy in the United States is like 10 years less than like Japan and other developed nations, like of the top 10 developed nations. Like, y'all are sick to fight against your own health just because you are so obsessed with this man that the media told you to hate because you hate Donald Trump and because you hate RFK Jr., who, by the way, sued Dr. Fauci and won about vaccines. Okay, so I don't know where your priorities lie, but I'm all here for it because I want to see RFK Jr. get everybody back in line. And yeah, if these people are scared and they're intimidated by somebody coming in who seemingly is not an expert and doesn't have the information, then what does that say about them? Why are you intimidated by someone who doesn't have the science if you're so sure? Like, the point is that Trump has gotten a mandate from his voters to make changes. These were the people that people were supporting, and he's seemingly sticking to what his voters are asking for, which is a lot more than we can say about those who voted for Biden in the last go round, right? That's why they're so mad, because they didn't get nothing they wanted in the last 4 years, and now they want to make everyone else miserable.
Thousands of employees and experts that understand these topics, and there are rules, there are regulations.
Mayor, a lot of them want to resign. When they see some of the people that are going to be on top, there's
You see how they keep cutting him off? First of all, I don't like that. It's so disrespectful. But okay, look at his face. He's like, I don't even want to be up here with these heifers, but I said I was coming.
I think there's going to be a mass exodus of people who have the institutional knowledge and the institutional memory and DOD at HHS. Who wants to work under a cook?
And let me respond to that.
Under a cook. Who wants to work under a cook?
If we love our country,
cook.
then no one individual should take us away from our mission.
Yeah. That's
if
it,
you
that's all.
dedicated your life to a particular place. I dedicated my life to law enforcement. So if a new commissioner came in that I disagreed with, I was not going to say, I'm going to resign.
Exactly. Like, grow up.
Let's love the country. Let's love our cities. Let's get away from the rhetoric of the professionalism that we know. Those are experts in this. They're going to look at his proposal, do a real
and do their job. Like, let people do their jobs. Trust your science, remember?
Should have some kind of background in this type of thing.
She's such an idiot. Joy Behar is such a loser.
When Trump returns to office, he will actually have a lot of power with the Republican-controlled Senate and House. He's suggested at times using the National Guard to target the enemy within, and key members of his last administration called him a fascist. But you've defended him. Can you explain?
He said,
I defended the rhetoric that we're using across our country and what our children are listening to and what we're doing. We've reached a point in this country where we no longer want to engage in conversation. They were even calling him Hitler. That's an insult.
That was only his vice president.
That was.
See how they're so disrespectful. And they keep moving the goalposts. It's funny until it's not. You know, they're so jovial while they're trying to disrespect him and take a dig at him. Joy is such an unserious person. And of all the people, isn't she like Jewish or something? Like, of all the people who are having an issue with using the word Hitler, and then now he's trying to explain why that's disrespectful, and you're laughing. Like, that's crazy. You are some very miserable women, and I'm sorry, but anyone who watches this show, especially if you watch it like regularly, you know, for like actual entertainment or information, go help yourself. Go find some real help, because this is just toxicity. Female, you know, toxic femininity. I don't even want to call it femininity. It's just some old trash.
It's an insult. That was an insult to the millions of Jews and others who died. We know what Hitler did. And what I said
she
to
hates
our
this
country,
answer.
when I'm on the streets
you seen her
talking
face?
to my young people who are protesting, people who are
Ida, meet her face. She hates this answer. She was like, now he came up with a good, reasonable answer.
Hitler did. And what I said to our country, when I'm on the streets who died, we know what Hitler did.
Her face. It's like, now he got an answer for this too. Oh, now he didn't fall into my trap again. She's so mad. Now he's trying to empathize and be a humanitarian. We're not here for this. We want to take digs at you, black man, and we want you to say you love Trump, and we can now cancel you. That's what this was for.
And what I said to our country, when I'm on the streets talking to my young people who are protesting on college campuses, wearing Hamas of signs and calling for the destructions of groups. I said we have to bring down this rhetoric.
They can't
We
agree
have to
with any of
start
this.
engaging
Why
in
not? Because this is
conversation.
how they make their money.
Obama said it right, and I agree. This is not the divided state. This is the United States. We're the greatest country on the globe, and people are watching us and name calling.
But do you think Trump should have brought down the rhetoric?
You see how none of the audience applauded? You could hear a faint applause, but they knew that they were unpopular in that audience because they don't want to bring down the rhetoric. They don't want peace. They don't want unity. They want destruction. They want racism. They want bigotry. They want hate because that's what gets them the views.
Because
Everybody should.
Well, let's start at the top then, because maybe it trickles down.
Think about wanting everything to trickle down. I mean, God, get off the floor, Joy. Maybe you'll see something.
Everybody should. Everybody should.
Mayor, I want to thank you for your remarks after October 7th, calling out anti-Semitism, which has been on the rise in the United States. I thought it was very powerful. Now, the country is unpacking the results of the election.
Yes.
The vice president won New York, but by 12 points as opposed to Joe Biden's 23-point margin. That was a significant move to the right in New York State. What do you attribute and you actually stated that you think you said the far left agenda is backfiring. What do you attribute the decline in support among Democrats in New York to, and what are Democrats getting wrong?
Well, okay, first I want to go back to your original comment. I was calling for the dismantling of hate in our country. Our Sikhs who are being attacked, LGBTQ members are being attacked, African Americans, Jews. I say let's dismantle the hate. And what you saw in this city, in this election, when you saw a shift and the state becoming redder, is because we stopped talking about working class people issues. When mom and pops are afraid, I can't pay my college tuition. The rent is too damn high. Healthcare is too expensive. We stopped talking to everyday New Yorkers and Americans. When I'm in the streets talking to them, they're not asking me, Eric, tell me about fascism. They're talking about finance. They're not talking about Hitler. They're talking about housing. We need to talk to everyday working class people. And we stop.
You can't tell me Eric Adams didn't get the coaching of a lifetime before he came on The View, boy. He said, I'm about to clean this image up. Y'all not about to play me.
Stop doing that. And those are the issues that they are afraid of. They're afraid of the future of their children.
I know that's right.
But the Democratic Party was addressing most of those issues.
Do you see how he is getting no applause? The audience wants to clap. I can feel it. They can see that these view holes would not like that. Look at how pissed they're getting. And then look at Sunny. She looks like she's just ready to die.
With the infrastructure bill, for example, and keeping Medicare and Social Security safe. Why would they vote for
They're losing
the
it.
party that will hurt them? I didn't get that.
Well, part of the business of campaigning is getting your message out and being clear on your message.
Exactly.
Even the experts in their party was saying, get back to the message. Mm-hmm. What are we doing for everyday people in the country?
Look at her.
And that's the same thing
Look
happened
at
in
her.
2022.
That
When
fist
I
was
got elected
tight.
in 2022, I stated that, listen, we need to be talking about crime in this country.
He cleared their ass.
Ignored it. We lost the election. During 2023, I said we had to deal with this migrant and asylum seeker issue. It was on the top 1 or 2 issues in the country. We ignored it. We have to go back and talk to those issues that people are worried about.
Okay, we have to go back and have a commercial. We'll be right back.
They really want to get this man. Do you see how he quieted them? And the smirk on his face is very telling. This is a black man knowing that he was set up to fail and succeeding.
For decades, there's DREAM Act kids, dreamers living in New
So
York
she's
City.
asking
Again,
about the
some have
dreamers.
lived here
You know,
for
what
decades.
are you going to say to
What's
the people who are
This
afraid
country,
of
lived here
being mass
for
deported?
DREAM Act. What's
Through Tom Holman, who was a former director of Border Patrol, who seemingly is ready to get this job done, right? And so, you know, I believe that the policies are that they're going to remove priority those who've committed violent crimes, those who've, you know, crossed the border multiple times and were already deported, you know, once before, you know, just the higher crimes, right? If you've sought asylum, if you've pursued your residency or you have a valid visa, there should be no need to worry. Like, this is the part that I'm just really trying to get people to grapple with. Is like, if you follow the rules and you apply for what you need to apply for, you don't have to be afraid. I don't know why Americans have normalized this, because like, I don't know of any scenario where an American can just show up on another country's soil with nothing, and then just be given everything. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Have to be very clear on the role of immigrants in our country and city. Uh, Going back to early Italians, early Irish, early the roles of just all the groups, how they have built this country, and particularly in New York City. I don't believe in mass deportation. This is a city where we tell whomever is here to, if you're a victim of a crime, call the police. If your child must be educated, let them go to school. If you need medical attention, allow them to go to the hospital. But Americans have been clear, though. We have a broken immigration system. I don't believe in mass deportation, but I don't believe in mass saturation. 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers came to the city, cost us $6.4 billion.
220,000 migrants in New York City cost New York City $6.4 billion with a B dollars. Chicago's numbers are something like 54,000 and like 300 million or something crazy. Like, what? I want to say I found those numbers. Let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah. 51,000 migrants in Chicago, 574 million spent. Okay.
I'm not allowed to let them work. I'm not allowed to have them be participating in the tax base of this city. We can't deport those who commit crimes in our city. We are not allowed to connect with ICE. This is a failed system. We need to fix it. And if we don't fix it, we're seeing what's happening in Chicago, what's happening in Houston, what's happening in Denver. This is wrong for cities to pick up this cost. They only gave me $200 million out of $6.4 billion that it should have gone to everyday issues in
On
our
the other
city.
side of that,
Oh, no, don't try to cut him off, girl. So he just called out, Chicago, Denver, all his sanctuary cohorts. But Johnson has been the most vocal about Biden's failure to act, about this administration's failure to act, about how sanctuary city policies need to be looked at to determine if they are feasible for cities, if they are being interpreted in the way that they should be interpreted. Because cities cannot just pick up the tab for that. If you have a allotted amount of money for your citizens, you can't just add 200,000 people to the budget and expect everything to turn out okay. And the fact that people are telling y'all this and y'all believe in them is just ridiculous. Like, come on, you having dinner, you had 5 people, 10 people show up, somebody ain't getting pie.
coin though, you've got Trump, who says that part of his plan is to send troops into the states and into the cities to conduct these mass deportations. Would you let him come into New York City? What's your scenario? What are your plans if he tries to do that in New York City?
We have sat down and did scenario plannings on all of these issues. And there are a lot of laws, there are a lot of requirements. What we must do is to be prepared to address the issues as they come in front of us. Our team has been there. We looked at all of these.
Yeah, so Eric Adams is too smart for these gals, and he's going to give you the right answer every time here. He's prepared very well for this interview, and I don't know what they thought was about to happen, but this man was ready for y'all. Because he's not going to answer that. He has to look at the law. Everything is a nuanced situation. Y'all just be hyperventilating for nothing. But let's get to Sonny and the nastiest question of them all.
Yes.
Mayor, back in September, you were indicted on charges that allege you accepted luxury travel perks and illegal campaign contributions from a Turkish official who was seeking political favors. Now, a few members of your inner circle have also been indicted. More are under investigation. I understand you have pled not guilty. You continue to run the city. But critics are suggesting that you have recently embraced Trump, perhaps because you want either the charges dropped or perhaps a pardon.
The way he looking at her like, girl, you know you a mess for this question.
What's your response to those critics?
Well, I think that.
How foolish is it to waste your time asking this question? You basically asking him to say on public television, yes, I am kissing up to the president of the United States so that I can be pardoned for a crime that I probably did commit. That's what you want him to say. He's not going to answer this.
Nothing is more challenging than not being able to defend yourself in public.
You have the floor.
I know that
I'm sorry.
You have the floor.
Well, he can't really talk about the
There you
case.
go, former prosecutor. I'm so
Stupid.
glad you're saying
God,
that.
Joy
Former
Behar is a
prosecutor.
goddamn idiot.
About whether or not you believe that your recent embracing of Trump, your critics are saying, is because you hope for a pardon or you hope to get some sort of charges perhaps dropped.
Listen, I said it over and over again. I did nothing wrong. I spent 40 years of my life, 22 of them as a police officer, protecting the children and family of the city. I'm consistent of that. I live my life the way I expect everyday New Yorkers are supposed to live their life. I have a legal team. They're going to manage that case. My job is to do what I've done since January 1st, 2022. Make sure crime goes down in the city, record number of housing that's built in the city, turn around our economy, and make sure as you leave this place that you could enjoy the
Look at her
safety of the
face.
city.
She's
That's my
so
job.
mad.
I've lived up to that. And the challenges that we face in life,
I couldn't get him.
can you continue to do the job that you were elected to do? And the numbers are clear. I'm doing that every day.
Okay, well, thanks for coming by.
They so mad.
Come again if you need
Yes.
to. Thanks to Mayor Eric
Come
Adams,
again
and
if
we'll
you
be right
need
back.
to. She thought she ate with that. Come again if you need to. Like basically trying to tell on him like, oh, you're here because you're trying to clean up your image. Your lawyers and your public relations team told you to come out here and, get New York back on your side. These View heifers are so freaking miserable. Like, I don't know how anybody watches them. All right, y'all. I'm at my end now. I definitely need to go lay down and cleanse myself of the View. God, take like 3 shots or something. Those women are so miserable. There was an incident too where Whoopi Goldberg tried to to slander a bakery, Holtzman's Bakery in Staten Island, and they came out in full force and supported the bakery, the neighborhood, and defended their reputation. And we're like, y'all are so narcissistic to think that anybody knows who you are or cares who you are. We just selling our baked goods, and our boiler went out, and sorry, you thought that you were like so important that we're gonna, like, I don't know, give away our other orders or something for you. Like, girl, bye. And so so she sent somebody to like pick up an order or something and claim that, oh, I called for an order and they didn't make it, but they made it for these people, and so clearly it was because it was me. And it's like, they have the whole work order for the issue and everything. So somebody about to get sued. Somebody said ABC has been sued like 7 or 8 times behind Whoopi Goldberg and her mouth. So we'll see. I just find it so crazy that she's so like racially motivated, and like she was like married to Ted Danson. Like she was, I grew up in the, 90s, and she was like, one of the first like major Black celebrity women that was like, that I could remember, like openly dating like a white man, like other than like, of my generation. Like, I mean, other than that, it's like Lenny Kravitz's mama and like Diana Ross's mama. Like, I mean, not Diana Ross's mama, you know what I'm talking about. Tracy Ellis Ross's mom, Diana Ross. Like, other than that, like, it wasn't a whole lot of like very obvious like interracial Black women, couples, that were made of Black women in those days. And so I just thought she was just a lot more like open-minded, but like she's just so I just can't. It's just got to be a woke mind disease. So like, I can't wait to see 20 years from now if we can honestly say that Trump derangement syndrome was an actual thing, because as you can see, people are super obsessed Trump could just like move away with Elon to like Mars or something, and they would still be bothering him. Like they would still be worried about him. I guarantee you, like they're obsessed, and I just don't understand why be that obsessed with someone that you claim is so like childish and like obsessed with ego. And then if he's so dumb and his followers are so dumb, like why can't y'all seem to surmount them? Especially that y'all have lost the House, the Senate, and the White House. So it's going to be an interesting ride, since especially Democrats don't seem to want to learn any lessons, and they don't want to check their egos at the door. And you have someone like Eric Adams who I feel like has always been moderate or a Republican, but he just couldn't say it because he was running it as a Democrat. But if you've learned anything in the last year, you've learned that Eric Adams is not having the Democratic Party's bullshit, and he is not here for these view hoes and their bullshit, and neither should you. All right, well, thank y'all for joining me again, and please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what y'all think about Eric Adams. Is he really a Republican? Is he a moderate? Is he still a Democrat? Is he just tired of their stuff? Do you think he's just kissing up to Trump so he can get a pardon, like Sonny said? What is wrong with Sonny? Talk to me about it. I'll see y'all later. Bye.